Hi guys, so what I'm doing here today is basically replacing this cable on Rock Candy Xbox 360 controller. It's a PL3760. It's been a great controller, but the wire is broke or feathered off inside here somewhere, so shortened out. So basically it's just a USB cable. This doesn't look like a USB connector here, but it has the other mate to this, which goes to USB, and it's just a breakaway cable, so if you got tangled up it would just come apart. So we're not going to bother with that. We're going to pull this connector off of here, solder this onto the terminals, or maybe onto the wires there, whatever. I'll see what's the easiest. I got a new 9-foot USB cable, and I'm just going to cut this off here, and it's simple. Color code to color code, color to color. Red and black and white and green generally is the colors. Could be a blue in there instead of green, so, or it could be yellow green, or it could be another color. But red and black is your positive and your negative, and the other two is your transmit and receive. So you need that on these ones. So we're going to get down to it and just replace that cable, and make sure we get all the screws out of it first. So that's that one there. Lots of screws in this controller, keeping it together. Where I do gaming and stuff like that too, I thought, well, you know what? I am going to do a repair video on this, so you can see what it's like to repair something. And so you know, I used to do this for a living. So at one point in my life, in one of my careers, was the repairman. I was in repairman mode, yes. So I never really lost. Things have changed over the years, of course, so they're not the same as they were, and a lot of stuff is just disposable now. So, but I'd like to repair stuff if I can, because one, it's good for the environment, and two, it saves you some money. Because this cord to be replaced, this cost me, well, it cost me nothing because I used points. I had to get a long one. This was a 9-foot one. I had some short ones, but it wouldn't do. So this is a 9-foot one, so this is perfect. So I'm going to use that. And like that was like $6.99. Even if it was $10, it still beats $30, $40 for a new controller, $25 even. So, and I just heard something drop on the floor, and I hope that wasn't a screw. Nope, don't think so. Everything is falling down around me. Good grief. Alright. That one just doesn't want to come out. It's just being stubborn in there. I'm telling you, everything wants to fall down everywhere. That's okay. These things are great. These are cell phone repair kits, and that's what I use them for. Taking stuff apart. Now, the only thing is, you gotta be careful of these motors there. And make sure your buttons go back in the right button spots, because it will look kind of weird in the wrong spots. Yep, that's right. And that goes in like that. Yeah. That one goes there, and that one goes there. And take that off. Yeah, I just, here, throw it in there, and then I can get it from there. Alright, where are we? Lift out that board. Is there a screw holding something on here? screw in there? No. There's no other screw in there. It sure feels like it. Yeah, I'm almost positive there is right there. There's something holding it. Something that under that sticker. Oh no. It's just a little bit of glue in there. Holding that on. Alright, those we gotta be careful of. Now, the question is, does this pull out, or is it wired in? Because I can definitely put it in to the top of there. Huh. I need my little one that went over there. Hang on a minute. And I'm going to just adjust this up just a crank. Something tells me. Huh. I might have to actually, because that might be crimped in there. Which in case that won't come off. Which is fine. It's just some work that I didn't want to do. So, because you got to be very careful when you heat stuff up. You don't heat it up too much. I got to get some stuff on that to heat it up. So, been a while. And of course the battery went dead in the camera, so I had to change that. So what I got here is some solder wick, which is basically a braided copper material, and you just put it on where you want to desolder or remove the solder from, and it heats it up and sucks the solder into it. And you don't have to worry about just be careful because it gets hot on the fingers too, because lots of heat there, of course. So we can get that piece removed. It shouldn't be too bad. Just a little bit there. Looks all right. So it looks like it should come out cleanly. Yeah, of course, there's going to be a little bit of a hassle there on one side of it. It's probably that one there. Ow! When you see what happens when you miss and you burn your finger right across the tip there. Extremely hot, and it smells gross. So you gotta be very careful, folks, when you do that. You don't want to burn your fingers. I've done that many a times. Electrified myself and everything when working with electronics. So you gotta be very careful. It's going to be mutilated a little bit. Yeah, that was crimped in there, so there's not much one can do about that. So, that's okay. Well, I know where the 12 volt and the minus is because that's there. So, and I also know that green was on this side. So it was green, white. And I'm going to write that down. Oh, that was smart. Green, white. And then red and black. Write your color codes down so you know what you are replacing. I thought maybe this would come off. It's molded around the wire, apparently. I don't think I can get that off like that. Straight, give it a go. Feed the other one. Perfect. And then feed the other wire through there. Okay, so that's the actual inside of that sucker. And that thing now is garbage. And that finger is really hurting now, big time. So we're gonna cut him off, just like that. Cut him off. We can keep them or we can throw them out. We're not going to use it for anything. It's going in the garbage. Feed this through here first off. If we can get it through. Because that'll be a good strain relief. Let's see what's going on in there. Maybe make that a little bit bigger. Just don't hurt yourself when you're doing stuff like this. But this is how you would do it. In real time, this is how you will fix something like this. Well, it almost is through, but not quite. So we'll try it down this end. Stretch that hole there a little bit bigger so we can get that wire through. And then when we get it all tucked in, we'll put a little bit of hot glue over the connections and over that, and then everything should be just hunky-dory. Should be. Still not going quite through the way I want it to go through. I have to stretch it with the pliers. Stretching it with the pliers there a little bit. Puppy over there in the background. This is speaking. Saying hi to everybody. I really want to get this through. It doesn't want it. It's snagging up in something in there. It's almost through. Well, it's almost through. We're going to go with a little bit bigger screwdriver this time. And really, really be careful when you're doing this. When you're sort of reaming the hole bigger. And that you don't hurt yourself. Okay. Now, that's done. Holy moly. There we go. We'll fit her through. Now what we're going to do is we brought it through a bit because we were monkeying around with that edge there, trying to get it through. Just in case the wire's broken, we're going to come back a little bit and snip that off and get rid of that along with that crazy thing. Now that will make sure your wire is fine, and then we can just peel back this outer covering to reveal our wires. And we got black, red, green, and white. And what do we have on the other ones? The same colors. So we're laughing. And that's what it should be anyway. So you just need the tips of this wire showing. So now we're just going to do what we call tin the wire, and it's just basically what I mean by that is we put a little bit of solder on the tips of those wires. Now just hold something there on the wire, and it makes it puts solder on the end of the wire and tins it up basically. So when you go to solder it to the connectors, there's already solder on these wires, and you don't have to heat it up longer at that point, because on the PC board or printed circuit board here, you don't want a lot of heat at all. You want very minimal heat. Now there's our connectors right there, and those wires are still in there. I really don't want them in there. I'm going to try to get them out. I'm not saying that it's going to come out, but we're going to try. Because they're not serving any purpose. Push them through anyway. Because I want to solder on this top side. Not on the bottom. Well, it's flat anyway, so not gonna matter. So we want to go up here and make sure we get the right one. So it's ground, voltage, whatever. So as we saw the connector before, the connector was like that on there. On that side. It was not on that side. It was on the bottom side, yeah. Just got to make sure, because so yeah, so yeah. Yep. So it's backwards. You just got to make sure you get the right ones. So a piece of paper that I wrote everything down on. So that would be ground, yeah. So looking at it this way, yeah, going backwards, yeah, black, red, white, and green. And that's right, because I remember. So what we're going to do is we're going to wire them, solder them right onto the board. None of these pins and any of that foolishness. Sometimes I check and check and check and double check and triple check just to make sure, because I want to make sure before I go and do something like that. So the ground is on. You just have to lightly tack it, see? Once you have those wires tinned, and you don't want a big lot of wire on it either, because you don't want them shorting out the other wires. There you go. That's that one. And then we go white. And green was on the outside. That one didn't have enough on it, so we're just going to give it a little more solder on there. And we put the green one on. Just like that. Wire replaced. Now, we just got to put it back together. But before we do that, of course, well, we're going to put it in its case, and then we'll put this in, and it might hold well. That we may not. Well, right there, I think we should put some hot glue just to keep it down. I'm not going to put any over there because it's too close to the other little circuits and stuff. So, and we got a thing that came out somewhere there, and it's got to go in. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that's the thumb thingies. Alright. Okay. Yeah. The thumb thingies. I guess that's right there. I'll go in like that. And these ones sit down in there. And that plunger goes into there. Sorry if this is boring, guys, but I'm showing you how to do this so that if you ever come across it, you'll know how to do it. You can probably just say, oh, heck this, I'm just going to go buy one. Well, I mean, you can do that if you want. And make sure your wire doesn't get jammed up in there and it fits down in its hole correctly, because it has like a little hole there for the wires. And that is your little things that spin around, the weights on the motors. That gives you the vibration. Make sure everything is sitting where it should be sitting in there. On their pads. And everything is right. Make sure that motor is in there. That motor is in there, and then the wires are pinched. And yeah, that piece goes up into there. It's amazing that the little spring-loaded switch is right here. This whole button just taps on it right there by a little piece of plastic to make it do what it has to do. Pretty incredible, actually. Now, you know what? I'm not even going to put it on the inside, the hot glue, because it looks really good. I'm going to put it in this hole here, and that should keep it. Okay, so let's get our cover back onto this beast. side sits good. Everything seems to sit good, but this side's not sitting well. So we lift off that cover again. We gotta make sure it goes in right, because if it doesn't, okay, the board is sitting right. May have to do with that foam piece just not sitting in it right. Now that's the one that's got the screw in it, and that's why it's being cantankerous, because that's the screw that wouldn't come out. There we go. Get rid of that. Now that should sit pretty. Well, it was until I moved it. And everything came out down below. This is what happens with controllers, because controllers are cantankerous. So you gotta be patient with these suckers, putting them back together. You gotta have a lot of patience. Now, that goes back in there like that. Goes around those connectors there, and then that's got its own groove to go in. Ah, snap and snap. Beautiful. And we're in business. Put the screws back in and it should work. And that's it. That one was there. So that's it. That's all you have to do to repair that wire. Apparently you're going to give me grief putting this back together. There we go. So that's it. That's all you have to do to take this apart and fix it. Apparently, that is one of the main causes why this controller does not like to work. And it is because of why some are longer than others. So that was a short one. This should be there. Yeah, those two short ones up top. Just a second now. I'm going to take that one back out again, because you got to get the screws in the right spots. Yeah, that is a long one. That's okay. That's bizarre. It's all good. It's all good. We'll figure this out. As long as it goes back together, it really, yeah, it doesn't matter what screw goes where. It should matter, but as long as it's back together right. And it's held nice and tight, it really shouldn't matter too much. Now I'm thinking, yeah, that's the other long one that should go there. It's nice to take a diagram sometimes and draw out your controller and put the screw where it came out, especially if you haven't done this for some time, or even with something that's complicated, so that things go together back the way they should. I remember in the past, I used to take stuff apart and I'd have a whole bowl of screws, and you know, you'd work on something for a week or more, and then yeah, it's like, where does this screw go? Eventually you would figure it out, but you can save a lot of time if you did that. I mean, yeah, it can take time or whatever. Take some tape, put the screw down, put the tape over it on your little diagram. It makes life so much easier. And there we go. Anyway, we got a nice long 9-foot cable on that. I'm just going to go power it up on the computer and see. And it should work. And if it doesn't, I don't know.